Oh my god, hey, it's me, Mickey Joe Theatre. Welcome back to my theatre-themed YouTube channel. I'm a professional theatre critic and content creator, and right now I'm spending 2 weeks on Broadway seeing all of the shows in New York, having a great time, creating review videos, and also some other fun stuff as well, like today's brand new video. I'm about to do a challenge where I see if it's possible to get to every single Broadway theatre in less than an hour. Now, from a previous challenge that I've done here on my channel with my stage fiancé Aaron James and our friend Ellie Talks Theatre, we know that the West End theatres are very far apart. You absolutely cannot get to all of them in an hour. However, Broadway's central midtown Manhattan theatre district is a lot closer together, and it just might be possible, but it still seems a little bit tight. So I'm going to find out today, once and for all, if it is doable. And we're starting here at Lincoln Center at the Vivian Beaumont Theatre. A school group is here with instruments. Are they at Juilliard? Are they from Juilliard? Are these Juilliard students? One of them just yelled at me, how many subscribers do you have? It's obnoxious to tell him, isn't it? So Lincoln Center, much like many theatres in London, has multiple different theatrical spaces. The Vivian Beaumont is technically a Broadway house, even though it's a little bit further apart, and that's why we're starting here, because I'm about to get on a subway train down to the Nederlander Theatre. Why the Nederlander, you ask? Well, that's at the bottom of Broadway, at the bottom of Midtown Manhattan's theatre district, and it takes the same amount of time to get there as it would to get to Studio 54, which is at the top. So we're going to shoot down to the bottom and then work our way up. That's the route that I've planned. Currently playing at the Vivian Beaumont is Uncle Vanya. I think you can see posters down there and some neon behind my head. It's very bright out today. There you go, it's all the way up there. But basically, as soon as I step away from this building, my 1 hour countdown is going to start, and I'm going to try and get to every single theatre. It's very warm today. It's the middle of the day. It's pretty busy right now in Midtown Manhattan. There's a lot of things working against me. I brought a giant coat with me to stand in a rush line this morning to get tickets on the day when the box office opened, and I regret this now. I had a jumper as well. What was I thinking? It's boiling. Okay, go. Okay, I've started the clock. I started at 12:08 and 30 seconds on my watch because I got impatient of waiting. I forgot to go at 08, and then it's just not a round number. I should have got here for midday. I was a little bit late in getting over here. Are those stairs? Do those take me down to the street? Yes. Okay. So I'm heading to the subway. There's a few different subway stations near Lincoln Center. This is the one I got on the other night, and we're going to take the one downtown to 42nd Street, passing another entrance to Lincoln Center. I think that's the stage door, actually. There's a lot of other arts and cultural buildings around here. We're passing the Juilliard School on our left, but we are heading to, when we see an opportunity to cross the road, we will take an opportunity to cross the road, because I want to be on this side to get to the subway. This is going to be the biggest travel part for the rest of this hour. It's going to be back-to-back theatres because they are all close together except for this one. That being said, it's not like this one is far away. I don't want to make you anxious about coming to Lincoln Center. You can walk from the middle of Midtown and it only takes you about 25 minutes. I don't think you necessarily need to take the subway unless... That's my microphone falling down. That may happen a lot. I was just saying I don't think you need to take the subway unless, of course, you're filming a ridiculous challenge video. And, you know, not to discourage, by all means, try this challenge out for yourselves. Maybe winter, or like autumn. There is a nice breeze there. Right, we have a downtown train in 2 minutes. This is good. This is good. Okay. There is one in 1 minute. There is a one train heading downtown, tapped in with my Revolut card, which can host a bunch of different international currencies. I'd tell you more about it, but they really ought to sponsor me, don't you think? But if anyone is wondering, like, easiest way to get dollars, Revolut card or similar. Other cards are available, unless they would like to sponsor me. This is the subway train. Here we go. There you go. It's going well. We didn't have to wait for the subway. It's very busy. So I'll see you when we get there. Everybody just got off here at 59th Street, Columbus Circle. This is where we'd get off here. We were going to start at 54, not 54 below, Studio 54, and then work our way down, but we're not. We're going to go down to 42nd Street, Port Authority, and work our way up from the Nederlander. Still going. This should only take 9 minutes, building to building. Okay, here we are. Pulling into the station and off. Oh, this is the exit for 40th Street and 7th. I wanted the exit for 41st and 7th, but I am right by this one. And then at least I know where I'm going. Out we go. This is our first waiting at a traffic light of the challenge. Count them, there's going to be a lot of them. Oh, any minute now, the lights will change and we can head up onto 41st Street and find the next Broadway theatre, which is going to be the Nederlander. This is why you use the right exit, because I wouldn't have to be waiting here. Here we go. Yeah, those exits from the subway are very well signposted in terms of what street they're going to bring you out on. And so even though the subway station is 42nd Street, it has exits all the way down to 40th. And if you're ever in a rush to get to a Broadway show, these crossroads can really eat into your walking time, or at least it feels that way. So if you really need to get somewhere fast, pay attention to the exit that you're using. But here we are, we're about to be at the Nederlander Theatre, where the Who's Tommy is currently playing. I saw it last night. I don't know if, in fact I know I'm not really the target demographic for this show. It's very 80s, the plot is wacky, but the production does a lot of things well. We're going to go right up to the theatre, that's the rule I've set myself for this challenge. We have to actually go really to the building. And here it is, here is Tommy. It's one of Broadway's many LED screen marquees. You can see all of the marketing for it here. See me, feel me, heal me. It's galvanizing apparently, it's Tommy. And we're going to head right back around to now go east over Broadway to our next theatre. I lied. That's not what I'm doing at all. Oh, here's the 41st Street exit. Rude. Yes, that would have been much closer. Yeah, we're not going east yet. We are going to go up to the New Amsterdam Theatre. Bought by Disney decades back. I learned all about this at the Museum of Broadway. Used to be a Follies house. And when they bought it, they found a tree growing in the middle of the auditorium. And you just know if they did that today, they would keep it and do like cool, immersive things, because novelty is now all the rage. But the New Amsterdam, one of the most, not only one of the most beautiful theatres on Broadway, one of the most beautiful theatres I've seen in my entire life. It is just stunning. Today is, oh, I've chosen horribly. Today is a Wednesday, so I'm going to run into, for all the 1 PM matinees, I'm going to hit all the queues. I've slowed right down because I've hit, is this, no, this isn't the queue for Aladdin, this is just people standing on the street, fine. But I may be hitting all of the queues. People are walking slowly in front of me, they're meandering into Aladdin. They're excited to be here, but not enough to be in a rush. This is Aladdin, everybody. It's just celebrated 10 years on Broadway. If you look above my head right now, you could see the lamp that they've had installed. It occasionally emits smoke and steam. I'll show you from the other side of the street, because we do need to cross the street just over here to get to the newly renamed Todd Haynes Theatre. This used to be the American Airlines, and I'm all for any renaming that celebrates an individual connected to the theatre industry, but also that American Airlines sign always had various letters that were not lit up. I never saw it actually be the full American Airlines. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Can we cross the street now? Do we have a countdown yet? We don't have a countdown yet, I can still cross. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm seeing another school group. Can you see the lamp behind me? Is there a lamp over there? This is the Todd Haynes. Doubt was just playing here, it just closed. But Home, directed by Kenny Leon, begins performances on the 17th of May. Oh no, I'm stuck in a school group. I go to this school now. That's unfortunate. My kingdom for a bigger sidewalk. Another view of the lamp. There you go. 10th anniversary lamp. Oh, now we're going to cross over east to, I believe, the Stephen Sondheim Theatre. I think that's the next one. Oh, again, the lights are being my friend, if I can make that one. We're going to speed walk. 15 seconds, 14 seconds, 13 seconds. I haven't looked at my watch this whole time. I think I'd rather not know until I'm about halfway up the Midtown Manhattan Theatre District how much time I have left. I am going to go this way, I think. Yeah, it's on the next street. This is not the busiest I've seen Times Square since I've been here. Gets busier in the evenings. But it is always a little bit hectic unless you come here at like 6 a.m, which I have also done. That was quite tranquil. I'm about to show you the Stephen Sondheim Theatre. Now we have a Sondheim Theatre in the West End, but no Stephen. So Les Miserables at the West End was playing at a theatre that was formerly the Queen's Theatre, and it is now playing at the Sondheim Theatre, renamed for legendary, award-winning, godlike composer-lyricist Stephen Sondheim, my man. And Broadway, that's going to happen often. Do a shot every time a taxi honks. Broadway has the Stephen Sondheim Theatre, where And Juliet is playing. It does always tickle me that you have these theatres named for these writers and composers when the show playing there is a little bit incongruous to their work. Like, Sweeney Todd and Merrily are both on Broadway right now, but neither of them are at the Stephen Sondheim Theatre, and it doesn't really matter. Like, Book of Mormon, I think, has a similar thing because that is, I believe, at the Eugene O'Neill. I believe MJ is at the Neil Simon. Those are both playwrights. The pink neon beckons. Let me show you. Here we go. I cannot wait for this scaffolding to come down so you can properly see the marquee. But this here is the Stephen Sondheim Theatre, where And Juliet is playing on Broadway. I think it's now been playing on Broadway longer than it ran in the West End, or at least it seems set to do that anyway. In fact, such is the success of And Juliet on Broadway, which, you know, when it headed over here I wasn't necessarily certain of. I was obviously optimistic for it, but I didn't think it was a guaranteed hit. But such is the success of it that in a couple of weeks, when Kimberly Akimbo closes and when Sweeney Todd has ended its run at the Lunt-Fontanne, And Juliet will be the last remaining show of the season in which it opened, which was the last Broadway season. Who thought then that And Juliet would be the last show standing? There you go. I did what I said I wasn't going to, and I checked my watch, and it's 12:27, which means I'm just about 20 minutes in. We have to come over to the Lyric Theatre, another theatre name that Broadway and the West End have in common, where Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is currently playing. Now, I usually do my best not to really cover or discuss Harry Potter and the Cursed Child here on my channel, because unfortunately, any support of the show, any publicising of the show, is tantamount to a financial endorsement of Harry Potter's original writer, J.K. Rowling, whose ongoing crusade against the trans community is not only hugely disappointing, it is in fact, legitimately sinister and dangerous and harmful. You will not catch me supporting that show. And I know it used to mean a lot to me. I know it means a lot to a lot of people. I don't want to shame anyone about Harry Potter, but at the same time, I think certainly because of very recent behaviour, it has become impossible, for me at least, to separate the two. But it is playing at the Lyric Theatre on Broadway in a one-part version, because it was originally a two-part play. It's still two parts in London, it's only one part on Broadway, and I think the J.K. Rowling of it all aside, any play that can cut itself in half and claim to still deliver the same substance is, you know, dubious. As I pass someone handing out flyers, again, they're just doing their job, as are the cast, as are the crew of the show, but it's tricky. I'm just remembering my original plan was to do a few on the right before I came back over, and I should have done the Lyric first and then gone to the right and done these next ones, I'm not thinking, I'm just panicking, I'm just dashing around. I need to keep my wits about me, I need to cool my head. Let's take a moment as we wait for the traffic here on Broadway. Broadway is a street, as it happens, and we are literally on Broadway right now. That's where that comes from. Gosh, if I fail this challenge today, I'm going to come back and do it at 6 a.m. because these crowds are just too much. Unfortunately, pretty much every Broadway show does a matinee on the same day in the midweek, which is Wednesday. A Beautiful Noise currently does a Thursday matinee. So does Illinois, but they do a Wednesday and a Thursday. Passing bars, so we can get to the theatres we need to see, which are on this street, coming up on our left. Here is the Hudson Theatre. It may be the best show on Broadway right now, Merrily We Roll Along, my favourite at least. But the scaffolding that does have it started out like a song, a lyric from one of the songs from the show, Good Thing Going. It's a little bit unsightly. The show's gorgeous, the marquee is not the one, but there's a huge line stretching down the street of very lucky people who I'm sure are thrilled to be here. But if Merrily is one of the season's hit musical revivals, this next one is the hit play revival. Sarah Paulson stars in Appropriate at the Belasco. A couple interesting details about these. The Belasco interior is gorgeous. I went there earlier this year to see How to Dance in Ohio, which sadly closed early, making room for Appropriate, which was selling very well at the Helen Hayes Theatre, to transfer and extend its Broadway run. Also, jury's out on whether it's pronounced appropriate or appropriate, because the curtain for the show shows both definitions of the word. So, who knows? The Hudson Theatre here is one of the few Broadway theatres operated by the Ambassador Theatre Group, and as such serves drinks in glasses, which very common practice in the West End, but you don't see a lot of on Broadway, and kind of for good reason. I know we'd probably all prefer to drink out of a glass. It's also more environmentally conscious. At the same time, people have a habit of drinking too much at the theatre, and the sound of glass breaking is not an uncommon one in a West End house. Oh my gosh, I'm miles from this light, and now it's changing to a countdown. No! 5, 4, 3, I won't even get there by the time it's ended. I'm not about to try and run across the street. Okay, and we're over. My camera battery is low, it's all going wrong at once. There's a giant queue of people coming down. I don't know if this is a tour or what. There's a lot of like pinch points on these corners where you have these food trucks which ask them the price they're going to charge you first if you are getting food from a food truck. Better yet, just get food somewhere else, because I got charged $16 for a corn dog. That includes tax, but still. I should have seen that coming. That was me having a foolish tourist moment. But we're now on one of the busiest sections of Midtown Manhattan. Get ready for back-to-back theatres. I will tell you as much about these shows as I can, but I've got to keep moving if I'm going to finish this challenge on time. The first one we're coming up to here is the Schubert Theatre. I love the light bulbs on this corner. This is one of my favourite exteriors. It is as windy as you are hearing. My goodness. I saw Some Like It Hot here. Hell's Kitchen has just opened to pretty positive reviews. There you go. I love the yellow and blue marketing and artwork. I think that's very cool. And hopefully I might be seeing the show in the next few days. On the other side of the street we have the Hayes Theatre. That's where I told you Appropriate was before it was at the Belasco. Now, Mother Play by Paula Vogel is playing there. It's operated by the Second Stage Theatre Company. It has a gorgeous auditorium. This is the Broadhurst Theatre, where A Beautiful Noise is playing. They do an elusive Thursday matinee, as well as a Wednesday matinee, I believe. Look, it's Neil Diamond. Good times, never felt so good, so good, so good. On the other side of the street we have the St. James Theatre. Their light bulbs are up there. Illinois, just about opening in time for this Broadway season, but only just. The construction here you're seeing is the Majestic Theatre. The St. James I've visited before for New York, as well as Spamalot, and I'm seeing Illinois tomorrow afternoon. The Majestic I've never been to because Phantom was closing when we first came to New York and we didn't get tickets. And rumours have been swirling about what's going to open the Majestic. They're doing a lot of work on it, as we just saw. It's not much to look at right now. But we will hopefully soon find out what the next show at the Majestic will be. Oh, the lights have just changed. The theatrical gods are smiling on me today. Let's go find the Al Hirschfeld, which is the only theatre in this district that you will find west of 8th Avenue. I think we're on 8th. I always get 8th and 9th confused. Yes, 8th. Pretty sure. But yeah, the Al Hirschfeld is the only one that's the other side of that. And that's where Moulin Rouge is currently playing, and I'm going to go show it to you. Here it is, the Al Hirschfeld Theatre, and that little lit up sketch you're seeing up there, that is Al Hirschfeld, who was a well-known and popular illustrator and cartoonist. This is the entrance to Moulin Rouge. Here you can see a sign above the old box office window that says Martin Beck Theatre. That's what it used to be called. There it is, for 10 points. And there's a very cool L'amour thing painted on the side of the theatre. A gorgeous marquee, very different to the West End one, both gorgeous in their own ways. Can we see ourselves? Yes! Let's keep on going. So right now we are on 45th Street, which is my favourite street on the planet, I think. It's got great theatres, it's got so many theatres. It's got the Museum of Broadway, it's got traffic, it's got schmackeries, Broadway themed cookies, it's got everything that you would ever need. I'm going to try and cross twice at this corner if I can. Let's wait for the lights. The lights have changed. There we go. Ah! Scary traffic noises behind me. I've just checked my watch again. I'm officially halfway through this challenge and we're about to hit 5 or 6 theatres in a row in really quick succession. First up is the Golden Theatre. This is where I queued this morning for rush tickets for Stereophonic. I'm seeing it this evening. Next, The Outsiders is what I'm seeing this afternoon. I'll be back here in an hour and a half to see the matinee. That's playing at the Bernard B. Jacobs Theatre. I saw Parade there. Second Broadway show I ever saw. First show I ever queued up at for rush tickets. Then we have, as you can see from the signs here, the Imperial, where Water for Elephants is playing. I saw this at the weekend. Really loved it. This is where Bad Cinderella was. Then we have the Music Box, home to many a purple show. Stuff's right now. Previously Pearly Victorious, which I saw here. The signage is very green neon. I'm not a huge fan of that. I just wish they could change the colour of it. The Notebook is currently playing at the Schoenfeld Theatre. That's where Come From Away was, for any Come From Away fans. That was the first show I saw of this trip, and just about broke my heart, in a good way. Behind this Pepsi van, you will find Kimberly Akimbo at the Booth Theatre. This Tony Award-winning new musical plays its final performance this coming weekend. I've seen it twice, but I do just love it. There you go. And what you're seeing on the left here is Schubert Alley that connects the street we were just on to the street we're on now. The Minskoff Theatre is over here. Am I close enough? No, I should really walk through. Okay, we're going to walk through into the Minskoff Theatre, so I'll show you the proper entrance to the Lion King. I think that technically is how I have to adhere to the rules of my challenge. Here it is. It's another breezeway which connects those two streets. This is the Minskoff Theatre. You go up escalators when you go in because it's elevated up above Times Square. As is this next one. We're going through another breezeway to go find the Marriott Marquee Theatre. Do I have to go into the hotel all the way up to the theatre? Oh, I probably do. Do I have time for that? I don't know. It's starting to look a little bit tight because I have to get all the way up to 54th and I'm currently only on 45th. But you'll see from signage momentarily, this is where The Wiz is playing. Oh, the box office is on the street. Okay, I'm going to count that because the theatre is inside the hotel building, as it shows you there. That's the huge poster wall for it, for The Wiz, which again also just opened here on Broadway. It's kind of a tour stop for the show as part of its national tour, but it's up in the Marriott Marquee. It's controversial because several theatres, or multiple theatres at least, were demolished to make way for the Marriott Marquee Hotel. so it's not necessarily well loved by those that can remember. But this is the box office, so we're going to count that. Across the street, meanwhile, we are swinging our razor high on Fleet Street via 46th Street for the revival of Sweeney Todd, which plays its final performance imminently, the epic musical theatre thriller at the Lunt Fontanne. I've missed one, just a little musical. Let me show you. Heard of this one? This is Hamilton at the Richard Rogers Theatre. Tony Award winning, Pulitzer Prize winning, cultural phenomenon. Hamilton can be found here at the Richard Rogers Theatre on Broadway. History is happening in Manhattan. It's also the back entrance of the Imperial. There's no more theatres here, so we are turning around. This is another breezeway. Do you like the windswept look in my hair? So this is the lobby of the Hotel Edison. You can find the entrance to this next to Bond 45 on 46th Street. I know it doesn't make sense, but this connects 46th to 47th. It's also where you will find Friedman's Cafe, the home of Gale's Broadway Rose. Musical theatre singing waiters, delicious food. What more could you need? I've hit a revolving door. I'm holding a camera. I'm having to use my foot. This is not going well. I look like a lunatic. Freedom at last. This is the Barrymore Theatre, named for the actress Ethel Barrymore. Currently Patriots is playing here. It's a play transfer from the West End. I saw it there, so I haven't seen it here yet, but I have been to this theatre twice before to see Peter Pan Goes Wrong and Harmony back at the start of this year. I'm never sure how I feel about all those windows above the marquee. This marquee I like, however. This is 6, playing at the Lena Horne Theatre on Broadway. It's so purple. You've got this cute little doors where you can stand under the crowns. Look at that. There's an audience excited to go in. Yay for 6. Then across the street from 6, the Samuel J. Friedman Theatre, where Rachel McAdams has just opened at the start of this week in Mary Jane. This is operated by the Manhattan Theatre Club. I saw Prayer for the French Republic here. High class of play can be found at the Friedman Theatre, and they have sensational legroom and a lovely sort of bookshop lobby area downstairs. If you were to offer me $100,000 or the ability to navigate Manhattan without ever having to cross Times Square again in my life, I would take the second one. I have managed to just put my camera on charge, so I hope you're all enjoying the benefits of that right now. I hope you feel warm and electric, I guess. Behind us is TKTS, where you can queue up for discount theatre tickets, part of the Theatre Development Fund. I have to go back down a bit, but I'm going to go here first to show you the Palace. I'm going to struggle to fit this all on the camera because the marquee is huge. So the Palace Theatre, they've moved the entrance around the corner. It used to be on Broadway, and now it's here on 47th, I think we're on. But it goes all the way up there. I'm not really getting a very clear shot of it. Let me step into the valet parking and pretend I'm a car. Tammy Faye is going to be the first Broadway musical that reopens the Palace Theatre. There's the entrance. There we are. Hello, us. We're going this way. The Palace is reopening soon with some concerts before Tammy Faye, but it's been undergoing major renovation because they've been lifting the whole thing up so that they can put stores underneath, basically. So the Palace Theatre is still there. They've just been elevating it to create this retail space, which is kind of insane. But, you know, Manhattan, be like that. We're heading back down to 45th, so I don't miss the Lyceum and any others I may have forgotten about. It's officially crunch time, folks. We have 15 minutes left. We have 12 theatres left to see, and I'm going 2 streets back on myself because I didn't do this one earlier because I was on a roll and I wanted to get all those ones on the other side. I should have come up and done this one before I went back. I have planned this poorly. I have hit crowds. I don't feel like this is going my way. I feel like this may be slipping away from my fingers, but we're going to keep going. It's going to be a photo finish or a dismal failure. You'll have to forgive me if I walk up to this theatre without stopping here. Oh Mary has just announced today that they will be transferring here from Off-Broadway. It's selling very well Off-Broadway. It's been a great success. And oh my gosh, wasting no time, they've already put their artwork up on the doors. This was where My Sons Are Queer, you can still see signage about that. My Sons Are Queer there was meant to be taking its Broadway bow, sadly currently postponed. Hopefully it still gets a chance at a stateside run, but Oh Mary, which is a queer show all of its own, will be playing here this summer, beginning previews I believe on June 26th. I am really speed walking now to try and get back on track. 11 theatres left, probably as many minutes, which feels impossible, but some of them are close together. We'll see. All we can do is hope. Everybody, we're going to go to the James L. Jones Theatre next, which is the last one over this side, and then we're just going to fly up. The microphone's fallen down. Technology is giving up on me. But I know that you all still have faith in me. Here is the James L. Jones Theatre. I was here a couple nights ago to see The Heart of Rock and Roll, which is still beating. An original story featuring the music of Huey Lewis and the News. This is the James L. Jones Theatre. I saw Gutenberg here as well. It has a lovely bar and merchandise space that's been added. Look how fun this show looks. That's been added on all of this bit of building you're seeing now, actually, was added onto the theatre over this side. We've seen the theatre, let's carry on. The writing does feel a little bit on the wall. I have less than 10 minutes left, I think, and I miscounted, so I still have 11 theatres left now. It is not looking good, but I think it might be very close, which is either a consolation prize or even more painful. You decide. We're crossing back over 7th Avenue, hopefully for the last time, possibly in my life. Getting out of Times Square to go and see the theatres on 48th, both of which share a director, Rachel Chavkin. So when Lampika opened recently, they renamed it temporarily to Chavkin Way. Let's go see Lampika and Hadestown. Okay, here they are, here they are, here they are. This is the Walter Kerr, where Hadestown is. I always think that the very lovely lights on the Walter Kerr, a little bit fabulous Las Vegas, don't really go with the aesthetic of Hadestown, but just about everything else about this marquee does, because they've got gorgeous red flowers all over the balcony, which I'll hopefully be able to show you. That's I couldn't decide whether I want to say Lampika or Longacre first. That's Lampika at the Longacre. And there are the red flowers for Hadestown, which has just celebrated its 5th anniversary on Broadway, as well as opening in the West End at the Lyric. I have seen both of those shows at both of those theatres. God, I need a drink. I think I've got 7 minutes left. 9 theatres to go. There's another breezeway walk through here, thanks to this underground parking garage. And I can see the next theatre, which is the Ambassador, the very first theatre I ever visited on Broadway, so it holds a special place in my heart, even as I fly past it now. There it is, Chicago is playing there at the Ambassador, and then its neighbour just a little way down the street. We're going to walk to it over here. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. Here's the Book of Mormon, playing at London's Prince of Wales Theatre. You can find it on Broadway at the Eugene O'Neill, where it's been here for a really long time. I sort of still forget that Mormon's open. And yet, here they are, saying hello to audiences 8 times a week. I think we're going to cross this side of the street now and not get hit by that bus. 8th Avenue is better than 7th Avenue. It's just better. Oh look, it's the bus again. I'm beating the bus. Chalk one up for walking on foot. Yay for environmental consciousness. And by walking on foot, I mean running through the theatre district. Literally dashing over the street to our next pair of theatres, which conveniently for me are located in the same building. You are seeing the outside of the Gershwin Theatre and the Circle in the Square. Their entrances are both found in this underground parking garage here. Here they are, that's the entrance to the Circle and the Square on the right hand side, where An Enemy of the People is currently playing, one of Broadway's more unique theatrical spaces because it's sort of a thrust stage. I believe it can also be converted to be in the round. The Gershwin, meanwhile, I think the biggest theatre on Broadway, where Wicked has just recently celebrated its 20th anniversary. Look at all these excited people, thrilled to see the Witches of Oz in Wicked. There are no theatres on this street. Is it 50th? I think it's 50th. I also think our time is about to run out. I don't want to check my watch for fear of failure, but I had 4 minutes left a few minutes ago. And as we approach literally the last few theatres, I think it may all have ended. That is Back to the Future playing at the Winter Garden Theatre over there. And if we carry on up Broadway, you will find the Great Gatsby at the Broadway Theatre. This is the only one that is actually on the street Broadway. Well, I guess the Winter Garden is as well, to be honest. But this is on the street Broadway. It was recently converted to a very different configuration for Here Lies Love, which I saw last year. That was my first visit to the venue. I went back again recently for the Great Gatsby, and I literally could not recognise the auditorium. It was so different from the design that David Corrins had installed for Here Lies Love, for this immersive dancing floor space that they'd had put in. And now we're out of time. I've officially run out of time, but I'll show you the last few theatres anyway. I'm walking past one of them right now. This is the Neil Simon, where MJ the Musical is playing, and opposite it is the Kit Kat Club at the August Wilson Theatre, where Cabaret has just opened. Speaking of immersive experiences and converting your theatres to different configurations, big old transformation of that space. You'll see MJ behind me here. I think it has flags. If I keep walking, we might see flags. Yes, flags. We love flags. I think I can cross this street without getting hit by traffic, which always helps. Now, really, I don't think I quite went to the Broadway or the Winter Garden. I sort of just showed you them from a distance, so I'm not sure they even really counted, but with so little time left on the clock, I kind of knew we weren't going to do it on this one anyway. I think we might have one more theatre to see. I'm still trying to go as fast as I can, so we have an official time for how many minutes over I was, so we can get a sense of how fast it could be done. But I am wondering, the subway went really, really well, really smoothly. If I'd taken the better exit, or if I was doing this at a different time of day when I didn't have those school groups, I got really slowed down, and then I made bad choices about the left and right over 7th Avenue and Broadway at the beginning. I think there's enough slack in it, and we're only just over. Oh, I've got to go 2 streets up. Studio 54 is, unsurprisingly, found on 54th Street. But I don't know, I think under slightly different circumstances, I think this is doable, just not for me today. So, do I try again? Do I concede a victory to the cruel mistress that is time? Tony Award winner Bonnie Milligan just walked past me, but she was on the phone, so I didn't want to yell that I love her work. But I do love her work. What was I saying? Yeah, do I try again? Do I give up? Do I take an ice bath? These are the questions. I can see Aaron James waiting for me on the finish line to hug me despite my failure. I don't deserve hugs. I do deserve a beverage. Here it is, our final Broadway theatre. It's Studio 54, and it is the actual Studio 54, famous iconic nightclub, since converted into a theatre. Days of Wine and Roses played here earlier this year, but closed slightly prematurely, meaning the theatre is currently dark. One of only a few dark theatres we've seen today because of this busy Broadway season. It's a busy time, and there's so many shows open. There you go. It's also next door to 54 Below, a lovely iconic cabaret space, and Aaron James, a lovely iconic individual.
You did it.
Oh my gosh, okay.
So because he completed,
Hey.
he gets a completed prize.
He brought me a black and white cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, thank you. How sweet is he? I'm going to give it back to you, put it in your bag. Because I need a beverage, and we need to get over to the Jacobs Theatre to go see The Outsiders. If you want to continue to join us on a day, check out all of the vlog content from this week. But as for this challenge, it is 7 minutes over an hour. We've taken an hour and 7 minutes, so not quite as close as I thought it might be. So now I don't know if it's even doable. We did have some hurdles, some challenges, some things I could have done better. What do we think, should I try again? Is it even possible? Let me know in the comments down below. Feel free to comment with whichever theatre was your favourite of the ones that we've seen today, which was your favourite marquee of the ones I haphazardly filmed. And thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe and go and check out all of the other New York content. Bye bye. I hope that everyone is staying safe and that you have a stagey day. For 10 more seconds, I'm Mickey Joe Theatre. Oh.
Oh my god, hey. Thanks for watching, have a stagey day. Subscribe!